Welcome to
Two Kids Cooking!
Today we're going to be doing a little bit of kitchen chemistry, and we're going to be making our very own fresh mozzarella cheese. And what we have right now going in this pot is half a gallon of 2% milk. And we're going to make sure that it's at 50 degrees. Alex, you want to take its temperature?
We have this digital thermometer here, but what could you do if you didn't have this, Mom?
You can use any other thermometer, but it is best to use an instant read thermometer when you're doing this. Like a candy thermometer also works.
Why do they call it a candy thermometer?
Because when they make candy like suckers, they usually have to heat up sugar to a really high point, so then it melts down, and
Yeah.
they can make the suckers.
Okay, so it's 54 degrees, and that's just fine. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to stir in our citric acid. The citric acid is what helps it coagulate the milk.
Coagulate.
Now that our milk is up to above 50 degrees, what we're going to do is dump in citric acid. Now before you guys dump it in, if you look online for fresh mozzarella recipes, they say you need citric acid. And the first time we made mozzarella, we used lemon juice because Mom couldn't find citric acid anywhere. And it turned out just fine, and the cheese did not taste lemony. This time we couldn't find straight citric acid, so we're using fruit fresh, which is citric acid and ascorbic acid. And I read online that both those should work. So we're going to see. You guys will see too if it works. But you basically dissolve, because we're doing a half a gallon of milk, you dissolved half of our citric acid, and we'll have the recipe below this, in with water. So if you dump that in, and Alex, and you sprinkle the rest on top. And this is going to coagulate the milk. So then we're going to stir it. So if you want to stir it up, stir it. Alright, we're going to let that stir. Alright, now that we've added the citric acid, we've stirred it up a little bit for about 1 minute. Now we're just going to let it sit. Sophie, done stirring. And we're going to turn it on low heat. And what we're going to do is we're going to let it heat up to about 88 degrees. And once it gets up to 88 degrees, we're going to add the rennet. We don't want it to get much hotter than that, so heat it at low heat. Alright, we'll be back. Okay, right now the milk is curdling a little bit. You can kind of see what the citric acid did there. Just a little bit. It's kind of hard to see. Right there you can kind of see how the milk fat is separating from the whey a little bit right now. And we still have a little bit longer to go till it gets to 88 degrees, and we add the rennet tablets. Okay, the temperature of the milk now is up to 88 degrees, and when it's up to 88 degrees, between 88 and 90 degrees, you add your rennet. And Sophie's going to add that. It's a half of a rennet tablet dissolved in a quarter cup of water. And Sophie's going to dump that in. And then we're going to stir it a little bit. And then what we do is we turn off the heat and we let it sit undisturbed for about 20 to 30 minutes. And this is when it starts forming the curd. And we'll give you some shots of what that looks like when we get to that point.
Alright, welcome back. And so now, here's sort of the consistency we want. As you can see, it looks thick. And then when I put it in there, it's thick down to the bottom.
Yep, the curd, the milk fat is separating from the whey, which is protein whey. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cut it into half-inch cubes, and then we're going to let it sit for another 10 minutes. So Alex is going to take a knife. Alex, take your knife, and then just cut it into cubes, like going across, and then across the other way.
This is sort of weird.
We're basically just trying to separate the liquid from the curd. And we'll be back to show you the next step, right, Alex?
Yep.
Hi, this is the mom, and we're back, and this is where we're at right now. We let the curd and whey heat to 108 degrees, and now we're going to let it sit for about 20 minutes, and it's going to separate even more than it already has, as you can see, and we'll show what it looks like when we're done.
Alrighty. Now we've strained all the water out of our cheese or curd. And so now all we have here is the curd. You can take a good look. It's sort of...
We're going to let that sit and drain for 10 minutes, and then we're going to move on to the next step, right, Alex?
Alright, now that we have the curd all strained, we're going to put it into a smaller bowl.
And then you're going to break it up
Then
with
we're
your
going to
fingers.
break it up into smaller pieces.
Just crunch it with your fingers a little bit. Just squeeze it.
Squeeze. This is fun.
Just a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to heat it in the microwave for about 45 seconds to let some of the remaining whey come off. Okay? So Alex is going to put it in the microwave, and he's going to set the timer for 30 seconds. Now the first microwave batch has been done, and you see there's liquid in there, right, Alex?
Yeah.
That's whey, so we're going to pour that whey off, and then we're going to do this one more time.
So we're gonna strain. We're gonna dump this back into the strainer.
And then pour it back into the bowl.
Then sort of lift it up, shake it around. You might want to push it.
Just a little bit, not too much, because you don't want to get it too dry. Okay, that's good, Alex. Now put it back in the bowl.
Then you just lump it back in the bowl. I always do that. Then microwave it again.
Microwave it again for about 30 seconds.
Alright, so now we've microwaved it again. There's more liquid, as you can see.
Yep, and we're going to dump off the extra whey again. And then Alex is going to form it into a ball. You can keep it in the bowl.
So now we're going to sort of swoosh.
That's enough, but put it back in the bowl, because you don't want it to get too dry. The first time I made this, I squeezed out too much liquid and it got dry. So form it into a ball. Alright, and once it's formed into a ball, we're going to microwave it again to try to, and what we're going to do is heat it until it gets warm enough so that it starts getting stretchy. So, yep, we're just going to, what we want to do now is it's going to start getting stretchy. You see how it starts stretching like that? Yeah, so now we're going to start doing the stretching portion.
Smells cheesy.
And we're going to keep stretching it until we can form it into a ball. So we're going to work on that, and we'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, Alex?
Okay.
All right, we're all done with our mozzarella. Alex, show us what it looks like. What do you think about it?
Looks cheesy.
Are you going to eat it tomorrow?
No.
Who will?
Sophie.
Mozzarella.
Now it is in the morning. Like we told you, we are going to try the mozzarella that we made last night. Oh, good.
I think it's still a little, we're still working on the texture. This is, again, only the second time we made it, so we're still working. But we're getting better every time. And I think the key is to just not over stretch it. And once it's it formed a ball shape, to just wrap it in the mozzarella, or wrap it in a ball and wrap it in some plastic wrap and put it in the fridge, and then you'll have nice and juicy mozzarella.
Yep. Happy heat making!